Okay, before anyone gets any ideas in their heads, it did not take me a year to film and edit this video. It took me over that. But no, I wasn't working on this the entire time I've been gone. I've been doing other things. I've got like 4 other YouTube channels, started writing, making music. Just never really got around to it. I did film the first half of this video a couple weeks or so after I said I was going to have released it, and I had an apology in there about being late, and then I just deleted that because I am again very, very late to releasing this video that I said would be out a day after the other one. But it's finally here, Sharknado Part 2. Really good. I hope. I have not finished filming this. I'm recording this before I record the rest of the video, but hopefully it'll be good. Wait and see. We're back with Sharknado. Said it was going to be out in a few days. Kind of lied, but I'm getting to it. So here we are, Sharknado Part 2. So if you watched the last video, you'll remember that it ended with George dying to a shark attack after he heroically saved a dog. Finn and Nova and Baz hop in the car and are driving off to find Finn's wife and daughter.
We gotta go through this.
What?
You've got kangaroos loose in the paddock, mate. We can't go through that. The aerodynamics in this car cannot match the waves.
The waves are only gonna get bigger when the storm gets closer. Trust me, if there's one thing I know, it's timing waves.
Okay, yeah, but you ride waves. You don't try to go through them, Finn. So then following George's death, they drive up to April's house. She's mad at him, takes some convincing, but she does let them in.
Dad, what are you doing here?
There's a big storm coming in. It's not safe here.
I'm not going anywhere with you. Just leave.
I didn't come here to argue
don't
with you. I
care.
came here to get you.
What is all the ruckus? Oh, Shepard. Should have figured it was you.
And then there's Claudia. And wow, everyone really hates Finn. We never get an explanation about why they split up, what Finn did, but no one likes Finn. The Nova says that there are sharks in the streets. They're all surprised, even though April literally just saw Nova shoot a shark with a shotgun.
Nice shot!
As I'm editing this, I'm finding so many amazing sound bites. I swear I didn't edit this. It's like the screaming girl from the last one. That nice shot, that's what it was, in case you couldn't tell. He was saying nice shot. But his voice just went up so high.
Nice shot!
Shark comes through the window and eats Colin's face. Good, screw Colin, he had a stupid mullet. Also, April's actor is really bad.
Help me! It's getting away!
Colin! Colin! Oh no, shark! So then, they try to save Colin, and they just get his arms. And then, like fools, Nova, Baz, and Finn drop a bookshelf on the shark instead of getting out of the bloody water. They had time to get out. But they do this instead. They go downstairs, and Nova murders that shark. Why is Nova not the main character? She's the good one. She actually does stuff. She's actually helpful. And doesn't put them in danger and didn't get George killed. Finn. George's death made me depressed. I'm depressed.
Looks like it's that time of the month.
Excuse me? So then Finn finds out that Matt is in flight school, and we find out that Matt exists. Matt is his son. Before they can get to Matt, they're still stuck on the stairs with a shark and bloody water. So Finn has a brilliant idea.
I'm gonna push the shark out of here.
And this happens. Oh, look at that! He's fine! And then the house explodes. I don't know how that much water got in the house when there was almost none in the driveway, but
Easy come, easy go.
it's kind of harsh. And they just lost their house.
Go figure. My luck, sharks.
Yeah, your luck. Sharks.
Mine too.
And oh, more hinting about Nova's past. Nova should really be the main character. Or better yet, George. George should be the main character for sure. But no, they had to kill him.
Do you always have this much ammo in your Jeep?
Semper Paratus.
Dad, are you really saying that right now? Can't you be serious?
It means
Always be prepared.
thank you.
So, Finn basically has godlike powers in this movie in the sense of he can pull anything out of his butt. And he's got all this right supplies at perfectly the right time. Whatever problem happens to come up, Finn knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly what to build. He knows exactly what tools he needs to use. And coincidence, he has all of those tools. Every single one. He has never run into a situation where he doesn't have something that he needs, or doesn't know where to get something that he needs, or where he has to ask someone to help in any sense other than just being an extra set of hands. And the directors figured they could throw in this Semper Paratus line and say, oh, he's just overly prepared. But that doesn't really cut it when he can solve every single problem just because he has it in his truck.
Why are you stopping? We have to go get Matt.
Don't you see that? There could be kids in there.
There's no one in there. And your kid is right here. We have to get her somewhere safe. This is so typical of you, Finn. You care more about other people than you do your own family.
Oh, so that's why they broke up. Because Finn is unwilling to leave children to die in the middle of the apocalypse? Okay. From everyone else's reactions to Finn and how much his family apparently hates him, I thought he would have done something, like, awful, like gambling their life away or drinking. He works at a pub after all. But no, he just cares about people. So as it turns out, there are kids in there that April was just willing to abandon to their deaths. But luckily, Finn has the perfect solution, as he always does. He is going to rappel from the bridge that they're under down on top and then rappel the kids out. And luckily enough, he just happens to have rappelling gear. Ian Ziering did almost all of his own rappelling stunts, which was pretty cool. They go down, rappel all the kids up, and oh my gosh, Claudia is on her phone, literally on her phone, as there are kids, literal children, dangling above shark-infested waters, and her dad is trying to save them. Not to mention, he's down there too, and she's just on her phone, doing what? I don't know. And then when Baz asks for Claudia's help, because she's on her phone doing nothing, and he's the only one pulling on the rope to get everyone out, she puts her phone up, and then goes and looks over the side of the bridge. Again, not to help at all. No one is helping this man haul people from certain death. Everyone's just staring to the side. Not to mention Nova, who I actually like, is doing the exact same thing. Why? What the heck? Why? Everyone sucks in this movie. Everyone's a terrible person. And you can see him obviously straining, and there's a little tear in the rope, and no one helps him at all. Thankfully, he's strong enough to get both Finn and the bus driver up there without the rope breaking, because everyone else is just willing to let them die, I guess. The letters on Hollywood suddenly rip off in this sudden wind and start flying around, streaking right over the bridge for some reason. And then we get this amazing shot of April telling Claudia to duck or get in the car, but you don't actually see it.
Claudia, get in the Jeep!
And this happens a lot through the movie. Specifically with April, a lot of her lines are delivered off screen, which makes me feel like the script wasn't fully complete, or they felt like they needed more after filming, and they had her just go into a sound booth and deliver some lackluster lines, and they just tossed them in wherever they could.
My mom always told me Hollywood would kill me.
I mean, we all saw that coming, right? But it's pretty funny. So they ditch the car because it blows up, and it looks like April forgot which way the directors told her to run. They go to a car rental place and steal this big old truck, and then because no B movie would be complete without an unnecessary police chase, they run into a police blockade, and instead of finding another way, Baz decides to drive right through, and only one cop on a motorcycle chases them, and they conveniently escape with the red nitro button. So they finally make it to the airport, which is where Finn's son Matt is taking flight school lessons. They run around the whole building for about a minute, screaming his name, and he finds him hiding with his classmates behind a little aluminum door as a storm shelter, and there's no way he could have not heard them screaming. They were all over the place, and he's right next to where they entered. Huge storm winds pick up, the instructor gets swept up through the roof, everyone else hides behind the little flimsy door. Finn holds on to it and doesn't get swept away. somehow because he's the main character. And every single plane outside of the building gets carried off into the sky. Every single plane, remember that. So then it stops after about 30 seconds because storms work that way. Then they go outside looking for a way to escape because there are 3 storm spouts circling around. And then, oh look, a helicopter, perfectly untouched. Despite everything else being picked up, this one helicopter is still here. But Finn declares that it's unsafe to fly in the storm, which of course it is. But his brilliant idea, instead of staying, in the big airport shelter where they're safe from sharks, is to fight them. But obviously a shotgun and a crowbar isn't enough, so they head off to the surplus store. Matt apparently knows how to make bombs, and his brilliant idea is to fly up in the helicopter, drop bombs into the tornado, and kill the sharks. So Finn and April over here and go over to argue with him because they don't want their son doing this. It's too dangerous. I'm just going to play this scene in its entirety for you because it's so awkward, and the editing choices, they clearly didn't care about anything. Like, there are obviously certain points where it's supposed to be bad throughout the movie, but this just shows a general lack of care throughout.
Your son wants to go into a helicopter and drop a bomb into the tornado.
No, it's too dangerous. Yeah. I'll watch his back. I'll be the bombardier. Then definitely not.
Dad, we have a chance to save thousands of lives, maybe more. You always taught me to help others. I'm going.
He's right, April. We'll work it out together. I won't let anything happen to
Don't
him.
you understand you could die,
Mom,
Matt?
we don't have any other option, and you're not gonna stop me.
He certainly is your son.
Shopping cart?
You can see exactly what I mean when I was mentioning April's lines earlier. Half of the lines in the scene take place completely off camera. And when you see the back of Matt's head and he's talking, his mouth doesn't match up with the words at all. There's a part where Finn says something, but I feel like that was a reshoot because it doesn't match with the scene. At the end, when Finn walks away, just before then, he's just looking around, not paying attention to the conversation at all. I don't even know what to say about this. It's just bad. Not even the funny bad. This is just bad. So Finn's looking for Claudia, and he finally finds her, and oh my gosh, she is on her phone. What is wrong with you, girl? What could she possibly be doing? Who could she possibly be talking to that is more important than the imminent apocalypse?
What's the problem?
You. You're my problem.
Are we really gonna do that now? Now?
Look, what are you and Mom doing? You guys could barely stand to be in a room together for 5 minutes, and now, what, because you're saving Matt? You guys are best friends again?
He is my son.
I'm your daughter. You guys are always there for him, and you're never there for me.
You don't think I'd try?
Not hard enough.
I came for you first. Try to remember that. Come on. Come on.
Like, this makes no sense. Yeah, they're going to work together to try to stay alive. I feel like we're supposed to resent Finn for this or something, or at least feel like he's got something to make up for, but they don't show any of this except for a spoiled teenage girl putting her problems on her dad when she obviously has jealousy issues with her brother. He's in the middle of an apocalypse doing everything. And is that why you didn't save the kids in the bus? Is that why you were texting instead of helping literal children to escape imminent death from sharks? Is that why? Everyone in this movie is awful. Why? It's like they tried to make compelling characters, relatable characters with flaws, but everyone just sucks, and I don't like anyone except for George, and they killed him. Another thing this movie does, particularly in this series of scenes, is when someone's having a deep conversation, they'll just throw in clips of people doing something, like while Nova and Matt are talking, Finn will be looking at chainsaws. And when Claudia and Finn are talking, you've got Baz over here trying to build a bomb. So now we finally get Nova's backstory that has been vaguely hinted at for quite some time. As Matt and Nova are working on bombs, he notices a shark bite wound on her leg that we have not seen before somehow, even though she's wearing short jean shorts. She tells him her grandpa took her on a fishing trip with his buddies. They crashed into a reef. Everyone got eaten by sharks but her, and one of them took a chunk out of her leg as she was being brought up into a helicopter. So this is what I'm saying. She would make such a better character than Finn. She's got the compelling backstory, she's got the cool scar, she's the only one that can apparently wield a shotgun. She's got the most kills of the group. Baz puts the giant bomb that he built into their new car and says that if the helicopter plane doesn't work, he's going to just drive the bombs straight into the storm and blow himself up. Small detail, but I would like to point out that this is the helicopter takeoff shot. Yeah, you don't actually see the helicopter leave the ground, except for the little skid things kind of rising up a little bit. Guess they didn't have the budget to CG a helicopter actually raising into the air. So Nova drops the first bomb, and it takes out the first tornado, no problems. So the second Sharknado is heading for the nursing home right next to the airport, and they're just old people outside swimming. They're just letting old people be out during a storm. No one cares. And then this lady's being like, okay, time to go in. Let's go in now, please.
Okay, people, everybody out of the pool. Everybody needs to get out of the pool and inside. Yes, Carl, that means you. Out now, please.
What is happening? So then Matt's final flight school friend gets taken out by two sharks, and he has easily the most brutal death so far. And then after all of that, gurgling and screaming in his own blood and no one stopping to help him because Finn and April and Claudia just keep running, a freaking hammerhead shark just lands right on him. This poor guy, he didn't deserve that. I will say though, this movie has some of the funniest kills I've ever seen, and I love it. Now this next scene is incredibly chaotic. Finn and the gang get to the nursing home. Sharks are falling into the pool where there's still an old guy in there. He dumps propane in the pool because they have propane next to a pool at a nursing home apparently. So what I'm talking about, Semper Paratus, he's giving Finn god powers to just pull propane out of bushes. And then drops a bunch of matches that he's never had before in there and blow up the whole pool. Like, they're already not a threat. They're not in the air. You didn't have to do that. There was two sharks, man. It's two sharks. I will say though, I love the background audio in this scene. I'll add some subtitles if you can't catch it, but it's so funny.
Oh my God, run! Come on, honey, please! I can't!
So Nova and Matt get the second tornado, no problem. Going on to the third, but it's too big and their bombs aren't working. A shark latches onto the little skis of the helicopter. Nova tries to stab it, falls out, gets eaten by another shark in midair.
Oh! Oh my God! No!
The only bombs left are on Baz's truck that he's strapped them all to. Finn goes and gets in it, drives straight at the tornado, lights one of them with one hand, jumps out, and launches it into the tornado, and it all blows up. But the thing about this is, they never would have had to do that if Baz hadn't taken bombs and strapped them to the car. Because literally the only reason Matt had to land was because he was out. He wouldn't have been out if Baz hadn't taken the bombs. And you can clearly see Finn lighting them with one hand, so Matt would easily be able to do that even after Nova died. And then he can just drop them in one after another, and that's going to create enough pressure to disperse it. There's no reason for all that at all. And then we have this amazing scene, which I love so much.
Get out of there! Get out of the way! Claudia, move!
Finn, he loves being dramatic. Instead of just stepping aside, he dives straight into the great white shark's mouth, chainsaw blazing. And then, of course, he cuts his way out and then reaches back in, and oh my gosh, it's Nova. He went straight into the exact same shark that got her. She's still alive, albeit knocked out, but he revives her easily, of course, because he's Finn, he can do anything. I was actually wrong a second ago when I said that Finn saves Nova. It's actually Matt. He gives her mouth to mouth. And then the two of them end up getting together, which disturbs me because it was literally a point in the movie where Claudia said to Nova she is obviously in love with Finn and needs to be careful because he'll break her heart like he broke her mom's. There's a point where Nova cocks a shotgun and Finn says it's hot when you do that. And then we've got the amazing George, who is also hitting on her. So this is 3 generations of men, because George looks old enough to be his dad. He's not Finn's dad, but he looks old enough to be Finn's dad. Am I crazy, or does anyone else have a problem with this? I know I've talked about this in the previous video, but come on! This is weird, right? In the end, of course, April and Finn get back together for unknown reasons, because she apparently hates his guts and has been bad-mouthing him to the kids, but, you know, whatever. And then it ends with them staring off at the sunset, arms around each other, happy, bloody family.
Shark! Shark!
Get it? Because Finn means end, and it's also his name, but he's named that because it's like the shark fin, but it's also... You see what they did there? So that is Sharknado. Overall, very, very enjoyable. Definitely not a good movie by any means, but very fun. It spawned like 7 others. Finn ends up having a kid and naming him Gil, because of course he does. Gets into the realm of time travel. April gets her hand bitten off and then gets a Cybertron replacement. The actress that plays Claudia moved on to better things and did not return for the sequels. They had to get a new actress who has completely different hair, and they spend the entire movie, anyone who meets her comments on the fact that she got her hair dyed. The third one, freaking David Hasselhoff shows up as Finn's dad. It's wild. The series is just wild. I'm not going to watch all of them. This is the final Sharknado video I've been doing because it took me over a year. If you watched this entire thing to the end, I am genuinely surprised and very happy. This took me so long to make. I'm very proud of it. I had so much fun. It was exhausting, but I had so much fun. Going into the school year, I will be making a 5 to 10 part horror series on YouTube about the evolution, dichotomy, adaptation of the widespread horror genre, beginning with the very first horror movie, which is only 3 minutes. Yeah, thanks for watching. Go check out my other videos and other channels, and